Okay, so welcome to this month, which is an earthy month. We are now in Taurus. So for those of you who are new to the natural cycles out there, earth means practical, tangible, results oriented. So this cycle is all about getting down to earth. So all the stuff that we unearthed in Aries, all that fire energy, all the new seeds that we spread out there into the ether to see where they land and germinate. Now is the time to nurture those seeds. So Taurus in particular is teaching us about resources, and that means value. What has tangible value on the ground in reality? And Taurus is nice and sensual, connected to the earth, connected to the body, is very good at being able to see and feel what is real. Some of the other cycles are not about this. They're about dreaming. They're about being more cerebral. They're about formulation of ideas. This month, it's about what we can see and prove exists. So that's the focus you're having in your business this month. And if you are familiar with the Taurus cycle, it means that we're also focused on values. What is the value system behind your business? And I've put the 3 top values of sacred business here to orient you for this session today. Simplicity, balance, and true abundance. So this is why you're here. These are the values that have drawn you in. And that is true also for your tribe. They also hold the values that you hold dear. So I'll talk more about that today when we get into your value proposition. So I also want to talk about this, just touch on it for those of you who haven't seen it before. This is the flow structure model of sacred business, which is all about balance, yes, tying back to the values of sacred business. So in order to increase your impact, that is your power, your sustainability in business, your ability to be integral to your mission, is all about balancing flow with structure, mind and body. Masculine, feminine, yin, yang, however you want to call it, these are the qualities we're looking to balance through the teachings of sacred business. So this is going to be relevant today. It will pop up here and there. Now, just touching on this once again, cycles within cycles. Some of you are in the Northern Hemisphere, you're in spring, lucky you. In the Southern Hemisphere, we're in autumn. So there's a slightly different flavor to this time of year for you. So this also links to the first quarter of the year and the creator types. So there are autumn creators and there are spring creators. So our autumn creators are lake, ocean, and tree. So you may be one of those. You may have one of those in your constitution that you know of. Or you might be a whirlwind, fire, or lava type. So what this means is that this is the time of year when you are most activated. So you want to invest your time and energy more heavily at this time of year in your own magical qualities, because this is where you really shine. This is what you do best. There are other times of year when you can be a little bit more dormant and perhaps to defer to other types who are shining at that time of year. So this is all about the ebb and flow of life, the seasonal nature that we grow our business by. All right, just making sure you remember to check your inbox tomorrow. This is when I send out the worksheet for today, for this cycle, and the recording. But for now, you're going to need your pen and paper because there's lots to cover today, and I'm going to be planting seeds, as always, in your mind, giving you ideas, throwing concepts out there, and principles, more importantly, laws of nature, so that you can tap into what your business needs now. So just keep your pen handy because you will get activated by things I'm saying as we go through. So we are going to be talking about planning today. I'll explain why, but essentially this is where your plan that you were dreaming of in Pisces, that you fired up in Aries, is now hitting the ground. Now is the time to nail down your milestones for the year. So typically your intention becomes clear around Pisces, solidifies in Aries, or fires you up in Aries. But in Taurus, this is when we actually hit the ground with that intention and go, okay, so what are the milestones that are going to get us there? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So first of all, I want to frame this whole discussion today about earthing your business, because this is even something that I'm exploring more and more in my own business as I go along, and noticing how many businesses are not earthed. So what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, you can earth your business on the earth and you can earth it in your body. Ideally both, but there are various ways to do this. And this is, of course, the purpose of the creator types, especially relating to your body. But as I've just touched on with the cycles, this is how it manifests in your business. This is how your business is created by you as a natural creator. And when it's in alignment with your natural way of creating, your business becomes a natural reflection of nature as well, and of your creator type. So your creator type is one thing. The natural locations or location that are associated with your business matter. So you may have a business 100% online, you may have a business that's partially online, offline, or you may have a venue, a location that your business is anchored in. Doesn't matter which of those you fall into, your business needs to have a connection to a natural state in nature. And if you're familiar with the creator types, you'll know these are the primary nature states that I speak of. Of course, there are more, but you want to start to get a sense of which one of these, or which nature states pertain to your business. And of course, this is going to rely on you feeling connected to your own body as well as to the natural world around you. There might be specific locations that reflect the ocean for you, that anchor your business, that are like a silver thread connecting your business to the core of the earth. Perhaps there's a forest that you feel called to be around, that you feel activated by, that your business is connected to. Perhaps you've used that imagery of that particular nature state in your business. Mountains, fire, sun, whatever it is, what is the nature state that anchors your business? And this is something that is known in tribal communities. Certainly I know of this in Australia with the Aboriginal communities, where you are anchored to that community, that tribe, that place on the land. And when you leave that place, that silver thread connects you back to that place. It never severs. It doesn't sever from the people or the place. So we who have grown up out of tribes, off the land, in cities, etc., in the modern world, have lost that connection. But everything that is born of every creation that is born of this earth, on this earth, must have a connection to a place. It's people. So I'm just planting seeds here. This is just the beginning of exploring this for me as well. So I'm noticing comments come through here, but I have to check them. Hang on. Jody, so now it's not a great time for a lake to go away on holidays for 5 weeks and oh yeah. So yep, that's what you're going to find out in your creator constitution, Jody, is what time of year you are most activated. And there's more to that. So you want to know the seasons as well as the 4 directions. Which of the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west, is most prominent for you? That gives you a lot of, it gives you a barometer for creating your business all year round. And you'll find that natural rhythm starts to become embedded in your body, becomes very natural. So yes, don't worry about it for this year, but next year you might want to keep that in mind. Jillian, my garden. You have a question, Jill? I've just, hang on, unmuted you. There you go. Away you go.
If Jodie's in that position, can she farm off some of her activities for someone else to do while she's away?
Yes, it totally depends on what your intention is. So if you're activated at that particular time of year, there's a couple of things that we could talk a lot about this, but just briefly, a couple of things. Depends where you're going, because if you're going to the Northern Hemisphere, the season will be different. So let's just keep that in mind. Is the season going to change for your time of year? The second thing is, if your intention is to activate your energy while you're on recreational time, so you're not working, then great, that can work fine. But if your intention is to activate your creative energy, your creative power in your work for the year, then I wouldn't be taking holidays. So there's lots of ways you could work it. And yes, you could absolutely outsource or get someone else who is activated at that time to keep things moving. Okay, all right. Let's talk about Taurus. So Taurus is really about resourceful planning, resourceful. Now, we could all be more resourceful, because in Western society, we are not very resourceful at all. There is so much waste in our society, and therefore that translates to all aspects of life. So we want to be thinking more resourcefully. How can we use what we have? So some of the questions we'll be really unearthing today are you utilizing your available resources? Hang on a second. How do you know your business is growing? How do you actually know your business is growing off the ground, or if it's plateauing by comparison? So you might have a sense of this in terms of your finances, but there's a lot of different indicators that show us whether a business is actually growing. And one of them is actually your personal level of ease and sense of, I'm really growing here, I'm changing, my soul's growth is on fire, or I'm frustrated. So that's the shadow of Taurus, is I'm not making enough progress. Things are too slow. So we want to get a sense of that. How do we actually know our business is growing? And it's slightly different for each person and each business too. And what is the current market value of your offerings? So that's a big question, but we're going to be touching on that today as well. So let's just look at traditional resources, you know, in terms of waste and how businesses are generally built. So they're generally built in the mainstream world, taking one step forward and two steps back. Oh, I made high profits this year, but look at all the side effects I created in the process. Everyone got worn out, or I created lots of landfill, or so on. You know, there's so many aspects to consider when we're thinking about sustainable, holistic growth. So that is how traditional resources are used. And certainly detailed plans are a part of that. So because usually the stakes are high and a lot of capital investment goes into a new business, the business plans are so detailed, it's like writing a thesis. And I've spent months and months writing business plans and project plans, and in my old life. And, you know, the reality is a lot of that effort is not necessary. So we want to keep, and this is the focus of today, is keeping everything as simple as possible and making sure that the results we get from the effort we put in is really in balance. So also, when we talk about natural resources, in terms of what we're looking at, we're aiming at in this today, is nourishing seeds, stabilizing change. So you scattered out the seeds in Aries. Well, how are you actually going to nourish those seeds? Aside from using what you have, you also want to plan with flow and structure, like I mentioned before, and you want to be building to last. So you're building for growth. And I love this example of magnetic termites in nature. And this is something that is unique in Australia. term, for those of you who don't know, in the tropics of Australia, there's something called magnetic termites, and they build these huge mounds which are, taller than a human being and broader than a human being. They're massive, but they all face the same direction, so that when the sun rises in the east, the sun hits the side of the termite mound, and when it sets in the west, the sun reaches the other side of the mound. So they have equal temperature distribution. So it's actually nature's own ventilation system. These little termites are very smart. So all of the magnetic mounds face exactly the same way. And this is a great example of using what you have, using what's available to you, especially what's available in nature. What is out there that you can be using in a new way? Think outside the box. Be resourceful. Think like a Taurian. Get your feet in the soil and think about, what am I actually creating here? What's the point at the end of the day? Everything must reach the earth level. So for those of you who are working in, and this is me included, working in a more conceptual or ethereal aspect of your work, so things aren't tangible, things aren't at the earth level. So unless you're taking care of children, or you're feeding people, or you're sheltering people, all those earthly concerns, then you're off the earth somehow in your work. So how are you going to ground that? So let's start with the first question. Which resources will support your seeds? So you may have several seeds for this year, and now is the time to get clear on what they are. If you haven't already, in Aries, what are your seeds for the year? I have 3 main seeds. The book I'm writing, I have the residential immersion coming up, and a new program. They are my main seeds. That's enough for me to do for the year, because they're all pretty substantial. And you want to be able to name those seeds. You might have smaller seeds. They might be, less substantial, shorter time frames for creation. But pinpoint your seeds now. You must know them this cycle, because you have to actually start to develop the milestones and gather resources for those seeds to germinate. So these seeds need roots, of course. So one of the roots is tools, such as technology, money, of course, capital investment, or it might be, small amounts of money, trickles of money. Location is another type of resource that you may need to support a seed. People is a key one. Certainly when we're moving more into co-creation, then people are going to be key. There's absolutely no reason why you would want to, in my opinion now, to create anything without some level of co-creation. So look at the people in your realm that you can utilize, who have something to offer. And of course, materials. So there might actually be physical materials. It might be food. It might be supplies of some sort. What is it that you're going to need to support your seed? Now is the time to gather those. You're putting them in your basket. You're putting this on paper, which starts to formulate your plan. So key questions to ask about your resources. What resources do you have available? What do you currently have? Often we think, we have to seek something outside, far beyond where we're at now, to start creating or to start to nurture the seed. That's not true. Usually you will have all the resources you need at your disposal. It might come via someone else. So that's the next question. What about the people you know? What resources do they have access to? And typically we think, so-and-so has money to invest, but there are many types of resources. One of them is actually knowledge. Whose knowledge can you tap into? And what would others like to contribute? This is another key thing in co-creation, is give people the opportunity to contribute to what you're doing. Like, there actually might be people out there, if they knew what you were up to, who would actually love to be a part of it, who would love to offer something. So give them that. That's a beautiful gift to give someone, the opportunity to contribute to something that means something to them. They might want to support you. So use what you have, be resourceful. And I'm definitely looking at this now in terms of creating this immersion and also the book. I know that I can't do this on my own, either of them on my own. So I need to be more resourceful than I ever have before. So it's stretching me. It's good. This is what we want. Every year when you reach this time of year in Taurus, you want to be stretching in this way. Stretching in how resourceful can you actually be. Okay, next. Which steps will fulfill your 12-cycle intention? Oh, before we go on, Jillian's saying used for navigation as well, the composted shit from the last 5 months. Oh, that's relating to okay, yep. It's very slow for me, Priscilla, which is bringing on the frustration, yes. So that's really something to be mindful of. If you're feeling frustrated with the progress of your business, then something's off. Something's off. So either you're not taking the right actions or not enough action. Or maybe there's not enough support. Maybe you're actually feeling like you have to do it alone when you could be reaching out for others to kick in and help you. Okay. What steps will you take to fulfill your 12-cycle intention? Does everyone know what their 12-cycle intention is? Or does everyone... Oh, Cherie's here. I thought you were asleep, Cherie. That's cool. 12-cycle intention. Some people are shaking their heads. If it hasn't dropped in yet, then this is the month. It's got to hit the earth. Need to really give it some time and space and attention to articulate. You do not want to move past Taurus in the year without a 12-cycle intention. If you don't know yet, then ask for help. Ask for help from one of the other members in the group, or ask for my help. So you probably know mine by heart by now because I've said it that many times, but I'm going to put it up here again in a moment. So this is what you are building. So your 12-cycle intention at the top, that's your big goal for the 12 months. So many people go through their business year without any sort of intention or goal. Now, goal is something that is measurable, and intention is different. And intention is not tangible usually. It's more of a feeling, a sense. Might be a visceral sense that you get in your body. So for me, mine was definitely like that, to root the teachings of sacred business in the body and on the land. It's time for that. I also am aware of where I'm at in the sacred business growth cycle. It's time to put the roots down. That's what's needing attention. So for those of you who've heard me talk about visualizing your business tree, I think it was back in Pisces, we were talking about this. At any time in the year, you can ask to be shown your business as a tree. And very quickly, you will see what needs attention. Are the roots big enough and deep enough to support the canopy, or is it top heavy? Perhaps it's bottom heavy and the leaves aren't full enough. The canopy's not full enough. The branches are too short, or maybe the trunk is too skinny, or maybe the fruit has gone rotten. Like, there's so many things that you can be shown through that very simple visualization. So rooting the teachings of sacred business in the body and on the land is my 12-cycle intention. And I highly recommend that your intention is something that you feel strongly connected to, and that you have this where you can see it, wherever your office or your workspace is, that you see it repeatedly. What's my focus for the year? What am I doing all this busyness for? What's all the activity about? Everything links back to this. So once you have your 12 cycle intention, and you might want to share yours here, because I think I asked back in Pisces or even Aries, and still not many people could articulate their 12 cycle intention. If you have already shared it, share it again. Let's hear what your 12 cycle intention is. So when you have this, you want to break it down into milestones. What are the key outcomes that are going to get you there? A milestone is something that can be measured. A milestone is something that you can tick off. So I can't really tick off that 12 cycle intention because it's not really measurable. It's almost measurable, but not quite. Milestones are different. So for example, for me, publish my book. Can tick it off or not tick it off. Hold the spring immersion. So that's, that's what you're looking for with the milestones. Must be able to tick them off. And if you don't know what your milestones are now, then at least some of them for the year that are actually leading you, they must link back to that 12 cycle intention. Then get some help, get some coaching or some guidance, because otherwise you're flying through the year blind. You don't really know how you're going to get there. And these are little mini celebrations, these milestones. So throughout the year, when these things happen and you tick them off, you can actually celebrate something. You can celebrate an outcome rather than moving through the whole year and it's a blur because you've done stuff, but what have you done? Without outcomes, we can't celebrate anything. Okay, Janet, mine is threefold: using my art as a vehicle for change and action, to meaningfully connect with my people, and to be the best me that I can be, including being in my body fully and self-nourishing, so I can be a stronger mountain for those I love. Oh, I love that, Janet. That's beautiful. You've thrown the personal aspect in there as well. All comes from your mountain. Cool, I love that example. Priscilla, I saw my tree as top heavy and needing roots, so I'm feeling the importance of rooting my life in one place and meeting my local tribe. Very cool. So that could certainly be articulated into an intention. Jillian, stepping up and into the next level of high yield and exposure to world audience. Yep, nice. So I'd love to know where in the tree you see that. Janet, meaningfully connecting with my people means to support and inspire other creatives through retreats and workshops. Cool. So there you go. There's some of your milestones right there, retreats and workshops. And if you've already run retreats and workshops, and perhaps that's not a milestone, perhaps a milestone is a different sort of retreat or workshop than you've done before. Leonie says, I feel like my intention is more like a goal and I have an idea but haven't found the words yet. Okay, can our intention have several parts like Janet's? Yes, it can have several parts. Of course, there are no rules here. However, I will say that the shorter the intention is, the easier it is to feel and embody. The less words, the easier it is to settle into your bones. Cherie, mine is setting an oasis for stone healing for my tribe. Ooh, I love that. And the garden footpath, deeper connection to the joy of divorce through nature healing. Oh, I love every single word of that, Cherie. Of course, I love how you always use nature imagery. Danielle, explore and share the message of slow business. Awesome. Festina lente, is that in Spanish? No? What, Latin? What the hell? Hang on. I can't hear you. Why can't I hear you? You're unmuted.
It's all right. I think there's a problem with my earphones. I can hear, but I can't talk. So Festina lente, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Is an old Latin motto, and it means make haste slowly.
Oh.
And it was actually a motto used by like emperors and stuff like that. So it's sort of like, it really matches. I really resonated and with this idea of slow business and quiet marketing, and yeah.
Oh, that's great. I love how you have the Latin words for that. That's pretty much your motto, right?
Yeah, yeah. And it's my medicine, you know, like.
Yeah. Beautiful. Slow business. Well, you're in the right crowd here, that's for sure. Thanks, Danielle. And reach new audiences organically. That's beautiful addition. Quiet marketing. Yes. I love what you stand for, Danielle. In fact, Danielle's going to be one of our guest experts on the Business by Nature Live coming up. So we'll be hearing much more about quiet marketing and slow business from you. Cool. All right. So we've got some great examples here. Oh, hang on. Rachel, to teach and supports preschoolers to identify their true power. Wow, that's interesting, because that more so strikes me as kind of your business mission or your passion, Rachel. So I'd be keen to know, in terms of the stage of your business, because I know that you're pretty much you're at the seed stage from memory. So what would your intention be for the seed stage? Yeah. Good. All right. So we have this. This is the first starting point for your plan. Break it into milestones. It's simple as that. I'm not making this complicated. This is what the 1-page sheet in the Natural Cycle Planner is for, to list your milestones with your intention at the top. Simple as that. I said simple, not easy. Sometimes the shorter plans are harder to write. Okay, then we want to break each milestone down into steps. So this is basic project planning. It's a very simple concept, but it does take practice to be able to break a big idea or an outcome down into smaller steps. But if you don't do that, you end up going off track. So every step that you take in this process is linked to the bigger goal. It's linked via your milestones to the summit, to the peak. So the milestone, for me, residential immersion coming up. So I've got to book the venue, step 1. Step 2, create the web page. Step 3, assign roles for the immersion. So each of these steps could have sub-steps, and will have. But they're great because they're very bite-sized. I can tick them off when they're done, and they're leading to my milestone. So what this prevents us from doing is getting busy and doing lots of activity that's not actually leading ultimately to our big goal for the year. So what you want to do always with this planning process is you're working backwards. You're not going, oh, what do I need to do today? Or what do I have to get done this cycle? No. What's your intention first and foremost for the year and for each cycle? And then you work back from there. Is there anyone writing notes? Is anyone getting spurred on by this, writing down their own steps as we go? Good. Danielle is. Cool. Gillian has a question. Go for it, Jill.
No, it's a statement.
Statement. Go ahead.
Being soiled, you're going too fast.
Okay. What would you like me to slow down with? What do you want me to expand on?
No. It's too quick. So I'm going to have to come back.
Okay, yes. And you will, because it depends on how advanced you are in actually writing your own plan at this point in time. So if you've already written your 12 cycle intention and you have your milestones, then this is going to feel natural. If you haven't got your milestones yet, then it's going to take some time. But make sure you do it this cycle. Yeah, make sure the milestones are there by the end of this cycle, please. Otherwise, who knows what you'll end up flapping about for the rest of the year.
Mine are written. I just need to sit down and do these steps now.
Yeah, good. So you've got your milestones, you just need the steps. Cool. And this is where you're getting to the nitty gritty often, especially if it's a big milestone that you have to get to, then the steps are going to take longer. So there's more steps involved. So you need to allow that time. Okay. Oh, Jill, you also added something here. My tree is an actual tree in my garden, and when I need to do or give it something, it is reflected in my business. At the moment, it needs a clearing out of dead, tangled branches and old wood to let the sun in this winter. The branches and roots are abundant, and the trunk is strong and healthy. Wow, that's great, Jill, because that's you earthing your business. You know, you can plant an actual tree in the ground to reflect your business if you're in one location, or you have a pot even. That's cool. And if you plant your intention in the ground, literally, for your business for the year, then your tree's going to reflect back where it's at. I love it. Okay, if you have your milestones, but so Rachel, you've got your milestones, but not your intention yet. So that's good, but I would certainly just be giving the intention some attention this month because the milestones won't quite hang properly. And sometimes some of the milestones get crossed off when they're not linked to an intention. So you could be investing energy in a direction that's not really what your business needs. Because as I said before, your 12 cycle intention is a reflection of the stage of growth of your business. Are you in the seed stage, the roots, the leaves, or the fruit stage? Your business needs different things at each stage. Janet, is there a certain amount of milestones that are ideal? So, no, but I would, okay, so there are some, it's a good question, Janet. So what I typically aim for is first of all, I go, well, what are my seeds for the year? So what are the new things that I'm creating for this year to come? So as you know, book and the immersion, 2 major seeds. But then there's going to be other milestones that are associated with those seeds that are still milestones. So for example, getting the legals sorted for the creator types, like trademarks and that kind of thing. So that's another milestone, but it's not a seed, it's attached to a seed. So I would be firstly asking, well, what are my seeds for the year? You know, what are the new creations? And then what are the major milestones that are attached to those seeds? And you certainly don't want to have 6 major seeds. If you had 6 seeds, then you want to make them small things. So mine are quite big, so I'm only going to have a few this year. In the past, I've had some more, but I wouldn't want too many more than 3. Does that help? Okay. All right, can we move on? Any more questions? Great questions, great answers. Now, I do recommend that you, when you're going through this planning process this month, that you actually do the partnering. This is so much easier if you get to talk through your plan with someone else. And they're going to go, but what about this? Or what about that? Or hang on, that doesn't make sense. How does that milestone link to your intention? Get some feedback. So you can write your plan on your own if you're confident in doing that, but then share it with someone. There'll always be holes in it. Okay. And once we have our plan, we're really getting to the ground in a different way with value. What is the value of your business? Unique value in your market. So you've probably heard the term unique value proposition. That's all it is. It's just a statement of what makes you unique in your market. Simple as that. So your value, the seed. So you can create a value proposition for your business generally, or an offering in your business. In fact, I recommend that you do both. You certainly want to know your value proposition or your unique value in your business, but it's also ideal to do it for your products and services individually as well. So there's 3 prongs to a solid value proposition. Your values, or the values that are attached or associated or underpin that offering or business. What are they? What are the benefits? What do people get out of it? What's the takeaway, the take home? Why would anyone invest in this? Question. And the point of difference. So this is where you want to have some idea of what else is out there like it in the market and how you're different. How what you're offering is different in some way. Danielle, ladies, I'm interested in budding up with someone this month if you are too, please. Okay, great. Good on you, Danielle. Put it out there now. So Danielle's put her hand up for partnering. Excelente. We'll talk about partnering later. Okay, so these 3 prongs to your seeds, very important. And also take some massaging to get there. So I'm going to give you some examples of my own, but you might want to jot down some ideas now. What is your point of difference in the market? You know, if you've been working in your market for a while, you'll know some of the other things that are out there, like what you're offering, but what's different about what you offer. The values, you should certainly be able to name those. They're simply words or qualities that you bring into your work. And benefits or outcomes. So for Sacred Business is an alternative business school with teachings based on the laws of nature and the values of simplicity, balance, and true abundance. Now, you wouldn't necessarily make your value proposition statement like this. This is for teaching purposes only. If you were using this in your marketing, you'd make it sound a bit more attractive, less clunky. But I'm just showing you the pieces here. So obviously we have the values, simplicity, balance, true abundance. We have teachings based on the laws of nature. That's the point of difference with Sacred Business. They're business teachings based on nature. And the benefits, well, it's a school. So that's kind of more of an implied benefit in this statement, that if you go to school, you get educated. So that's the benefit. I could talk more about that. But for a single statement, this kind of carves out a place in the market. That's all this process is. It's your place in the market. Where do you stand in the marketplace in context? Then on the other hand, so for the creator types, which is an offering, the creator types is a body-based profiling tool designed to illuminate a person's natural creation style so they can create individually or in a team with ease, efficiency, and fun. So there's the 3 values right there. That's what attracts people to the creator types. I want to be more efficient. I want this to be fun, not arduous and boring business. And I want it to be easy. I don't want it to be hard. They're the values. Natural creation style. That's a point of difference. And the benefits, point of difference is that it's a body-based profiling tool. Given that most profiling tools are not body-based, they're usually personality or internal traits-based. And benefit is you learn your natural creation style. So that's just speaking to the outcome of when you use the creator types, this is the outcome. Does this make sense? Have I broken it down for you in a way that makes you go, oh, okay, I can state my unique value for my offerings, my seeds, and my business? That's what we want. You guys are having a great chat here while I'm talking away. Natalie is a weirdo and we are part of her club. Well, I'm just so proud of that statement. Thanks very much, Jill. I'm glad you're having a chat about weirdos in here while I'm talking about very serious value propositions. You know, come on, guys. Okay, so I'm glad you're all feeling weird. You're all in the right place, of course. I mean, who else talks about people being trees and oceans and soil? Come on. Okay, so any questions? I'm just trying to see if there's any questions there or if it's just a bit of weirdo banter. And it seems to be. So that's good. I'm glad you're all having a chat. Jill, what are you pointing at? You got to unmute yourself.
There is a question where there is actually a question there, and that's what sent us all off. That's all.
Oh, what is the question? What if no one else is doing what we do and we are looked as different or weird? Okay, that's the question. Ah, Cherie, funny you should ask that. Well, you know what? I don't know. Depends on your industry, because you're certainly not weird in this crowd, but in the divorce coaching industry, I'm pretty sure you'd be considered quite weird. So I don't know if you want to unmute yourself and ask something about that. Up to you. Otherwise, we'll keep on rolling. Are there any other questions? Is everyone getting a sense of their unique value?
I'm here. I finally got unmuted.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no one. I'm so happy to be in the club of weirdos, especially at 4 in the morning.
Oh my God.
So, you know, in the divorce tribe, no one is doing what I'm doing. Healing through nature. They think I'm crazy. I go to network meetings and they don't understand what I'm doing and they avoid me. So It's good to embrace woo-woo, I think.
Yes, it's certainly in the right crowd for that. So, well, you have a very obvious unique value in your market then, don't you, Cherie?
I do, because they do. I do, but what kind of a weirdo heals people going through separation and divorce and they're very happy?
Oh, yes, exactly. Yep, I hear you. So do you have a question around this or something that you want to dig into a little bit more? Because I'm happy to go further with it.
I think I'm okay knowing that being weird is okay, and even going deeper into being weird and unique and using tree healing and being the tree and the stones, using the stones on the body, like hot stones and everything.
Yep.
Just going to go deeper into probably tribal energy.
Oh, yes. Music to my ears. That's where I'm going.
Okay, so, thank you, Natalie.
Yeah, Cherie, if you consider my example of what I'm teaching in business, pretty weird. And look at who's here. Look at who this weirdness has attracted. You know, all these amazing people who think outside the box, who are just shunning the mainstream. So, wow. I mean, I feel so grateful and privileged to have this. So I can see you doing the same.
Thanks for the support. And I love everybody on here too, because thinking outside the box is what creates us. We're creators. We're all creators.
Yes, that's right. And I love that you can talk about talking to stones and be completely embraced here.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for sharing, Cherie. Chat's going off. You'll have to alert me if there's a question in there for me. Otherwise, we'll keep on going. As Leonie says, there are people looking for different, Cherie, because the old ways don't work for everyone. And they certainly are working less and less anymore. And that's just going to accelerate. So the weirdos who've been on the fringe for quite some time are going to become more mainstream. So wait for it. I wouldn't be surprised if many of us are inundated in the coming years for being as weird as we are. So let's put that out there for the weirdos to come. All right. So your unique value, think of it in terms of a statement like this and massage it. Use it in your marketing. Drop your words, your values in your copy and in your speaking wherever you can. using those words repetitively is actually really valuable form of marketing. And you can have, say, 5, I recommend only 3 values, but you can have sort of 5 keywords or key phrases that you use in your marketing repetitively. And every time you use those words, it anchors in people. So if you use too many values, you dilute the power of those words. Same as if you choose values that are too similar. You want completely distinct values. So for example, if I use balance and harmony, well, they're too similar. There's too much of an overlap there. They're synonyms. So I don't need to do that. But people need to know these distinct values of your business and your offerings. All right, let's keep going. So wrapping things up, the steps for natural resources. Step 1, which tools, material, people do you need to gather? So this is the time to gather them. Next time we get to Earth, an Earth sign, which is Virgo, you can leverage those in a new way. But this is the time you're actually gathering them together, figuring out what you need, pooling your resources, if you like. Milestones, as we've talked about, what are the things you can tick off as you're going through your year, the celebration points. Steps, what steps will lead to your milestones? Again, working backwards from the intention to the milestones to the steps. And finally, your unique value, your values, benefits, and point of difference. So your value proposition is something that you can use, or is actually the crux of what people will pay. It's why people will pay you in the context of all the other products and services they could alternatively buy. So there's a balance here of the internal, your sense of valuing what you offer, and the external, what's out there that is of value and how you are different. So you want to make sure that you've got that balance of internal and external with your unique value. Cool. So we put it all together and we have our little equation. We have the resources we need, milestones plus steps, and your value. And that's what gives you resourceful growth. Using all that you have to make progress. We only use, if you consider we only use a fraction of our brains in our daily lives. The same is true for everything in life. We are using a fraction of what is available to us to create. There is so much out there, even in the people that we know, that we could be tapping into. So our aim for the month is increase your resourcefulness. Okay, that ties up today's session of teachings. I'm going to go through this particular cycle, what we've got ahead, and use my examples of what my intention and actions for the month, if you want to stay around for that. So we'll keep cracking on. But before we do, partnering, as Danielle mentioned, and as I mentioned earlier, this is a great month to share your plan with others. All you have to do is add your name and the person you wish to partner with in the spreadsheet, in the Business by Nature directory. And the link to that directory is in the group description and the group pinned post if you're looking for it. That's so that someone else doesn't steal your partner and the same person doesn't get snapped up and partnered with too many people in a month. So that's why you're putting their name on the list with yours. And you can choose anyone on that list and their creator types are listed for a reason. So you might want to choose by the creator type. Which creator type would you like to connect to this month? Okay, so Taurus. We don't have any retrogrades. We don't have any eclipses, thank God, because Aries was so intense. So I, for one, am in recovery this month from the intensity of Aries, and looking forward to just chilling out, even though I'll still be creating, but it won't be as fiery. It's time to exhale a bit. Okay. Cycle intention. My cycle intention is to create a solid footing for my 12 cycle milestones. Pretty much what I've been banging on about tonight. But the wording I've chosen here again is because I feel it. Solid footing. I can feel that sense of having my feet on the ground, giving a strong foundation for my seeds to grow up off the ground. So think of the wording that arises when you feel your intention for Taurus. Actions. So finally, the Creator Constitution is coming out. How appropriate, since it's body-based and we're finally in an earth type, in an earth sign. So that is actually going to hit the ground next week. And the rest is supporting my seeds, setting dates for the immersion, writing the plan, and starting the webpage for the immersion. And also starting my book proposal. So all of these actions are in support of my seeds. And I think that's enough, given that I'll need some recovery time. So does anyone want to share their intention or their actions for this month? You're more than welcome to. Give us some ideas, give us a different perspective. Let us know. How far are we in? We're into Taurus almost by a week already. So I don't recommend that you go more than a week without having this down on your planner. Or if you don't use a planner, just have it somewhere so you know at least the next 3 weeks you can use according to the cycle. Cherie, title for new program, Healing Separation Through Nature's Roots. Oh, I love it. I love it. You're the queen of nature terminology. Cherie, I love that. So that's your new program coming through in this 12 cycles, is it? One of your seeds you're nurturing? Danielle, I'll be spending some time on this today and tomorrow. Cool. Cherie, yes, I just thought of it now. Good. Yes, so please share your seeds with us. You know, that's what this little forum is for, is so that we can actually see what each of you are creating. So always share with us as we're going through these workshops. Okay, any questions about anything at all?
Natalie.
Yes, Gillian.
So my actions, I need to put my glasses on. To identify growth and keep nurturing it. To weed out old habits, which all have to do with getting up into that tree and cutting out all the old stuff.
Yep.
Set up a social media plan, which is already going freaking nuts. The person I collaborated with started today, and I've tripled my following already.
Awesome. Cool.
And to nurture the 2 pots, the collaboration pots that started this in the last in Aries.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this question, since you're a soil type and you have your pots that you fertilize and nurture, what does that translate to? When you talk about I'm going to nurture my pots, my collaboration?
So stay connected with the 2 pots. So keeping a foot or keep watering those pots by staying connected in the groups,
Yep.
having a voice and commenting and engaging.
Yep.
So nurturing that connection. And I'm travelling to Perth for one of them. So that's a really big trip.
Yep. One of your pots really started to flourish.
Out of nowhere.
Well, not nowhere.
Oh, it's a seed I planted 7 years ago. So
no, not nowhere. Yep.
It hasn't had much attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you did plant the seed. It's amazing, isn't it, how long it can take for seeds to germinate?
Soil.
Yep, that's it. Thanks, Jill. Great. Thank you for sharing that. From a soil type, especially. Okay, so we have some others here. A question from Rachel. Should our cycle intention tie in with the actions from that month? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, definitely. So your cycle intention is to do with those. So for Taurus, it's to do with resources, planning, and value. But you don't have to use those words. It's more like, well, how do you distill that focus for the month in yourself? And this is just how I do it. There are no rules here, as long as you feel clear in your intention. That's the main thing. I just like to let it distill in my body, settle into my body, and then I put words to it. And then it just emanates from there. Does that answer your question, I hope? Janet, cycle intention, fleshing out my plans, feeding my seeds to support consistent, sustainable creations. Beautiful. I love that. Janet, oh, that's another one. Priscilla's stealing your intention, Janet. Is that okay? Danielle, your seeds, VIP monthly workshops, articles to magazines, Festina Lente. Am I saying that right? Festina Lente? Yep. T-shirt. Oh, that's cool. Oh my God, that's awesome. So, I can't wait to see that. Please share it with us when it's ready. Create library of resources. Yeah, brilliant. Very tangible. In terms of articles to magazines, I'll be keen to know if that comes off this month or if it's more of a Gemini thing. So the timing of Gemini might naturally fall in that timing. That's just what I found.
Yeah, can I just mention something about that? I've already started submitting articles to one online publication, but it's been a very interesting experience because their image curation, I just hate it. And I find that I can't share it then because it's so out of alignment with my brand. So it's something I hadn't considered before, so now I am. So now I'm actually looking for other things and I'm going, well, it doesn't have to be online. It could be tangible, which, is very what this month is about, right?
Yeah.
The physical, the tangible. So I'm like, yeah, maybe there's some lovely physical magazines that I could submit articles to. So yeah.
Brilliant. I like your thinking. And that's exactly sums up Taurus is, okay, so Gemini is more of the month to get into the headspace. This is the month where we actually want to feel and touch our creations and the resources we're putting into them. So I love that example. I'd love to know if it comes off too, if you find any paper magazines.
Yeah, I've spotted a few. And the other interesting thing when you were earlier in the session, when you were talking about how this month's all about that physical sort of, being able to touch stuff, I was like, oh, I've been working on that t-shirt idea. And I've ordered a t-shirt to see what the quality is and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, and I've even invested some money into an account this month when you talked about investment. And I'm like, all right. Cool.
Well done. Yes, especially because Danielle's in spring. in the Northern Hemisphere. So that's perfect time for investing in the seeds, investing money. Yeah, that's great. I love it. You're already in tune with the t-shirt and the merchandise. It's very Taurian indeed. If they can't touch it, feel it, it's like, what are you talking about? So wait for Gemini for that stuff. If it's words on a screen only, wait for Gemini. That's just a rough guideline. Nikki, hello Nikki. Hold first, nurture circle. Yay! This is brilliant example of Taurian action, a nurture circle on the land with real people you can touch. In nature, ticks all boxes. Finalize costings for seasonal box, promote new treatment, room, finish, native skin range. Haha, you're going to be busy, Nikki. Oh my goodness. I love it. So Rachel, if mine is a service, how does that translate into something I can touch? Well, your service, I believe, Rachel, is yoga with kids, right? You're working with actual people that you can touch. So you tick that box. It's people in the online world, 100% online, that have to be creative in that way. They can't touch their customers or create anything tangible like that. Maybe you want to steal Danielle's t-shirt idea for your kids' yoga. Am I right in that, Rachel? Forgive me if I'm wrong about that being your business, but I have to remember many businesses with many names, so I might be wrong.
It's yoga and meditation.
For kids, right?
Yeah, for preschoolers.
Yeah.
Under 5.
Good. So
yeah. You were saying you did great.
Okay. Yes, God. Okay, so that's great. Well, maybe there is something that you could explore along the lines of what Danielle was talking about, something tangible. Might be early days yet for you with your business, but it's worth having a think about.
Yeah. Danielle, I got this job in Perth because of my t-shirt. I've got 2 jobs from my t-shirt.
Yeah, because you tell us the t-shirt.
It just had what's beneath your ink, and then it had my name and the contact details, and the first time somebody actually took a photo of it because I was walking through the street, and she then got onto Facebook and found me and connected. And the other one, I was wearing it around and somebody came up to me and said, I need to talk to you.
Wow. I'd love to see a photo of your t-shirt.
It's just plain black with white writing.
There's no imagery on it, is there, Jill?
Nope.
Cool. Amazing example. All right. I'm getting feedback now for some reason. Weird. Okay, so just wrapping up. We've had some great input tonight. Thank you so much for your lively chatting in the chat box. And this is the time now to reach out to your fellow members. You know, we're all weirdos here, which we've established tonight. So you're in good company. So this is an opportunity. This is a rare opportunity. I looked for this for years. Oh, Jill's showing us her t-shirt. What's the story behind your ink? Oh, that's great. Cool, Jill. Thank you. I looked for this for years, a group where I could go to reach out to others who wanted to do business like me. It didn't exist, so I had to create it myself. As we all do in business, we create what we can't find. So yes, just rest assured there are other weirdos out there, and you might want to seek them out by their creator type or their time zone if you're being super practical. So the action sheet that goes out tomorrow in 24 hours will be a great starting point for your chat. It's not, if you want to just have a chat, getting to know each other, that's fine. But if you actually want to achieve something, it's a good idea to use that worksheet. All right, that's it from me, folks. Thank you so much. Can I ask that
something about the values?
What?
Values.
Yeah.
I have a question about the values. When
Okay,
you spoke
to your question, Jody.
using them as repetitively as possible,
Yes.
and at like 3, for example, are you talking about, for me, for using like family tree healing, emotional archaeology, and living a secondhand life?
Well, they would be key phrases that you would use. Yes, you can use those repetitively, but they're not.
Okay. Okay.
But yes, same concept. You want to be using the same terms repeatedly so that people can follow the thread of what you're on about, what you stand for, what you can deliver on. So I think you pretty much nailed it with those 3.
Yep.
Cool.
Cool.
That help? All good? Sweet. All right. See you next time, everyone. Lots of love. Enjoy an earthy month ahead. Bye-bye.